Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Thursday, May the 19th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach. And look at this. I am joined by Swag City here, Deb Lutz with DFS Coach Talk shirt. She's got the hat. Man, you are looking great.
I'm on the team. I finally made it on the team.
You're batting leadoff. Deb Lutz.
It's awesome. I know this swag looks good. You got to tell members where to get this stuff. This is pretty it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and you can check out on our website, there's a link. It's Squad Locker is who we get all of our stuff through, and we don't mark it up a penny. We want to just get the love out there, get the stuff out, and it's really good quality. You know, the Under Armour hat or Nike hats. There's an Under Armour hat. There's some Nike polos and shirts. Good stuff. So, yeah so very nice. You are ready.
Thank you.
No doubt. So I'm pouting a little bit after that Mavericks poor start yesterday.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about that before the podcast, but it's all right. You know, you're going to have some down games and, you know, it's just bounce back time. And speaking of bounce back time, I think Boston Celtics are looking to do the same thing today against Miami.
Yeah, they need to stay in this. I mean, you don't want to be down 0-2 at the start.
Yeah. If you can still win on the road, that's all that matters. You know, even though both of these first games in these conference finals were somewhat blowouts, you know, maybe we get some rebound games today. So first of all, if you're new to the channel, this is DFS Coach Talk. We do a daily podcast for the NBA, and we do one for the MLB, and also weekly for PGA. You can catch us here on YouTube, and if you are on YouTube, we'd really appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up. We put these podcasts in front of the paywall every day, and we're just looking to move up that algorithm on YouTube. So the thumbs up makes a big difference. Hit the subscribe button. This way, you know when our podcasts are coming up. And if you hit the little alert in the upper corner, that'll actually let you know, give you an alert every time one of our podcasts posts. So we would strongly recommend that you do that. And then before we break down this game, what we're doing is a podcast for every one of these NBA conference finals. And then the NBA finals will be with you every day throughout all of those. And this one today is sponsored by BetUS.com.pa. If you're looking to bet on these conference finals or the PGA championship that's going on, anything you're looking for, you can find at BetUS. I've been a member there 16 years. I know Deb joined last year when we had a similar offer out there. And our offer this year is really great too. It's if you go to betus.com.pa, sign up with the promo code Coach Talk. You got to use the promo code, and you deposit a minimum of $79. You get a free full month all access DFS Coach Talk. That's a $75 value in itself. So you get everything that we're bringing forward at Coach Talk. You get that somewhat free play, if you will, in BetUS to drive up some money and go after it. So good stuff.
I joined, as you said, in one of the promotions. I think it was at the time, it was $150, and you got, the $149 Coach Talk package.
Yeah.
And obviously I never left Coach Talk. I haven't left BetUS, and I've never made another deposit on BetUS. I'm still playing with that same money. So It's done really well for me. Yeah, it's been great.
Fantastic. Well, we invite everybody to give that a try. And, as soon as you sign up, we'll throw you right into our Discord where we're giving out, like we do with these showdown slates in the NBA. We're giving you out a core 4 on DraftKings and then full lineups for Fanduel and Yahoo. All right, let's set the stage for this game, and then we will, break it down here, see if we can figure out what we're looking at from a different standpoint from the last game. So it's Miami is favored at home against Boston here by 3.5. It's a 208 total, 102.25 implied for Boston, 105.75 implied for the Miami Heat. Miami's given us a little bit of a break. They're not listing, 8 guys as questionable. We're down to just 2 questionables, and that's Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, who is the starting backcourt. Who'd ever think we'd be saying it's Gabe Vincent and Max
Strus.
Starting backcourt for the conference finalists for Miami Heat. That's wild. But they're both listed as questionable. I expect both to play. We know Kyle Lowry is still out. We're not sure if he's going to return at all. Marcus Smart will play, no doubt in my mind. He's listed as probable, but I'm sure he'll play. It looks like Al Horford is almost definitely out for this game. He's listed as doubtful, but from what I read, he's out, and Sam Hauser out as well. So very similar to the first game from what I can see. What do you think the adjustments will be, or what are you looking at initially here in this game, Deb?
Yeah, I mean, I think Marcus Smart's the big difference here with him coming back. I think he's the glue on Boston, both defensively as well as sharing the ball around at this point now that he plays point guard. So I see a bounce back game for Boston. I think it's going to be really tight. I'm not sure if they can pull it out in Miami, but at least they're going to be hanging in there. I think they're still going to miss Al Horford. But I think it changes a little bit because with Marcus Smart, you're going to rely less on Derek White. His usage and stats are going to go down. Pritchard played a really nice game stepping in, but I think he's going to see way fewer minutes and lower usage. So I don't think he's someone you can necessarily rely on again. So, it'll be interesting. I'd like to see, they went to Robert Williams, big time at the beginning of the game, and then he just sort of faded away in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see. He was clearly making a difference in the first half as they were hanging in there and even winning for a while. So it'll be interesting to see how much they go to him. I do like him again in this game.
Yeah, I think you bring up the most important point, and that's Marcus Smart returning, because, the main thing with Marcus Smart is he just changes all aspects of the game, specifically the defensive rotations, because he's such a great defender. He was Defensive Player of the Year this year, right?
Yes.
I think he was. Yeah. So, yeah, you take a guy like that off the floor, and it's going to affect every position defensively. Right. And then everybody has to step up. So, losing Horford, he's still going to be out. It's COVID stuff, so he should be back soon, though. But I think Smart really changes things up, and I think it makes a huge difference in this game. Miami played well. Boston was just a little flat. Again, a little malaise coming out of that last series. It could be expected. We sort of called it. We used Butler as our captain and really, saw that coming. But I'm going to flip the script here completely. I think Boston's going to be right in this game, if not win it, in my opinion. I think it's going to be, much tighter. And I think that Boston's going to step up a bit. And I like some of the pricing. Yes, Jason Tatum is expensive at 9.8. So, you somewhat have to make a decision. You can go Butler and Tatum, certainly. But then again, it's building some guys off the bench, etc. But I think my initial thought here, Deb, and I want to get your opinion on it, is I think Boston with Smart back, being able to run some of the offense and then tighten things up defensively so they can get some transition hoops off of their defense. I'm going to go with both Tatum and Brown, which is unusual for me. I just think with no Horford and with not a ton of scoring from the other spots, I can see both of these guys having a really good game.
I like that a lot, particularly on DK, where you really can fit them in. FanDuel's a little harder.
Yeah.
But I like that a lot. I'm with you right there. That's what I'm looking at as well.
Yeah,
I'm actually looking at definitely having more Boston players than Miami in my lineups.
Yeah, and I'm going to lean a little bit more on Boston too, especially, salary wise for sure. I may be able to put some of the cheaper guys for Miami in there, to balance it up. But yeah, I think, it's hard to fade Butler, and I'm not saying, fade him in every lineup or anything like that. But I really do think that there's going to be a little regression there. And, I got an incredible stat for you, though, that would tell me not to do what I'm thinking of doing.
Okay.
Let me give you a quiz here. How many regular season games has Jimmy Butler scored 40 or more points for the Miami Heat since he's joined them?
Wow. Let's see. It's been
just regular season.
It's been 2 years or 3 years that he's been with them. 2 years?
3, I think.
All right.
2.5, whatever. He came over from Philly.
So I'm gonna say 5.
0.
0. Wow.
Now, here's the second part of that
the
question.
Playoffs, right?
How many playoff games has he scored over 40?
8.
5.
5. Okay, that was
So 0. All those regular season games.
Wow.
In
wow.
2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. 0. And you talk about a guy tightening up the laces for the playoffs.
He brings it. Well, this is why I never wanted him to leave Philly. He was the guy. He's the guy that they needed.
Yeah, he's courageous. They should have kept him along Embiid for the rest of his career. Those two defensively, forget it. But
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, so the question is, right? Exactly. I mean, does Boston figure out a way to keep him from getting his?
Well, here's the thing. He's as great as he is and as dominant as he is. He's still not a great outside shooter.
Right.
He really isn't. And so I think they tighten it up on him. And he scorched them so bad. I think that they say, all right, listen, we're tightening up. Let's make some other guys hit shots. I mean, you need to, Max Strus and, and these guys, they can possibly make them. Gabe Vincent, PJ Tucker, these guys, they're going to need to, I'd force them to shoot the ball and get the ball out of Butler's hands.
Oops, sorry about that. Speaking of which, wow, that's weird.
Hey, cheering.
That's weird. You were talking about Butler and he popped up there.
That's because I'm fading him. He's trying to yell at me.
Wait
probably.
a sec. Yeah, but no, I think it's a great point because I've yet to see. I mean, he was, he's been so dominant even in that Atlanta series, in the Philadelphia series as well. But Bam has really not stepped up. You think of who the other big guys are. Hero's been fine, but he hasn't had, one of his huge games.
Right.
And I still continue to say without Lowry, I think that they're going to be in trouble. I think Gabe Vincent just, doesn't do it. So it would be really interesting to see if they can figure out a way to lock down on Butler and if that really does change the outlook of the series.
Yeah. And again, I think part of that disaster for them in game 1 was Smart wasn't in there in the rotation defensively. Yeah. And that just changes everything. And I'll tell you what, people that say the eye test doesn't matter, that's baloney. Butler had a lot of stuff bounce his way. Yeah. He got some and ones that bounced his way, some tip ins. I mean, he had really, and I had him as captain. So I was just thrilled that he was getting all this stuff. Amazing. But I think he regresses, and I think that the key guys from Boston step up. So that's my big, I've been working on this all day. And I'll tell you, if you fade Butler, which is brutal because it's going to be very tough, but if you do, you don't have to go down to the Oladipos and Pritchards and, these guys that everybody's going to jam in that are trying to put all the studs in there,
Agreed. I think it's a really, really interesting strategy. He's going to be highly owned. That's for sure.
Oh, Butler's going to be chalk city. So, but also again, you have to get a little bit contrarian if you want to take down any of these big tournaments too. So, you never know. That's just my 2 cents worth. But as far as Boston, the other guys, obviously the 2 Williams boys are going to be highly in play here with, no Horford and, you'll get a little bit of Daniel Tice, but I think Grant and Robert, you could make sense with either one of them. I don't know. What about 6'4" for Smart?
Yeah, I like it. I think, I think you said it on the other pod. If he's playing, it means he's healthy enough. And I think you're going to get a ton of minutes out of him. The usage is going to be there. I think you'll have enough things fall his way. I'm actually looking at a lineup with him as the captain.
Wow.
And see if that can get me a really nice sort of rotation of players with that.
Yeah. That could really,
again, just going a little contrarian, seeing what we can stir up.
Yeah, I like it. And, we did talk about that last time. He's just one of those guys, if he plays, he has one speed, and that's 100%. he's not one of the guys that can play sort of hurt and just float around. So,
Right.
it looks like he'll be fine and back and going hard. There's some risk that if he is dinged a little, that he could get dinged during the game, but you would think he'd have to have, bones hanging out to get him off the court.
To leave the game. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now, on the Miami side,
what do you think between Tatum and Brown, though? I mean, Tatum was, they've sort of flip-flopped a little bit in the Milwaukee series with Brown playing better at the beginning and then Tatum coming on. It seemed like Tatum was still playing strong. What are your thoughts? You think Brown's going to turn it around a bit?
I like them both. I truthfully do. Like I said, I think that, Smart playing his defensive role and playmaker and such, and then the Williams boys are going to, they're inside paint rebounders and defenders, etc. But you're not going to get tons of scoring from White, Pritchard, Tice, or Nesmith. Naismith, whatever. Nesmith, I think, is the way it's pronounced. But since James Naismith invented basketball, we might as well call him that. But so again, to me, it's one of those scenarios where there's just not anywhere else to get the points.
Yeah.
So I think, we've said it multiple times. You look at Brown and Tatum, sometimes they combine for 50 shots. Now, they may not get that against Miami because the possession and pace of play will be slower, but they're going to get up a lot of shots. And everything's got to go through them to score. Yeah. And I think playing both of them is a great strategy because, I think between the two, they're just going to get a lot of shots up.
I like it.
Yeah.
On the Miami side, I mean, Hero's pricing is still good. So I like him. They're going to need him this game. They didn't really need him last game. They're going to need him. And, I'm hoping he can get a number of rebounds as well as put up a number of shots. Yeah. And so I like him, as a fill-in, Vincent's okay. Again, he's low priced.
Right.
I'm not too sure about Strus. Again, the defense of Boston makes me really leery on Strus until he can show that he can hit his shot, particularly if he's dinged up. I mean, he keeps showing up on these injured lists. If he's a little dinged up and if he's going to get, now I guess he's probably going to get Brown defense. I mean,
they'll all shift around now with Smart back, right?
That's tough for a guy like Strus. I mean, Brown's way more athletic than he is.
No doubt.
So, so I'm not convinced on him. They didn't need Oladipo in the last game, so he didn't do too much. But, he's a guy, some instant offense. They may need him this game. So, so he's another guy I'll potentially go to. Dedmon on DK at that, 1,800 or what is he, 2K, if you need him, he's going to get those, 13, 14 minutes. He doesn't do a ton, but, but he might be the guy you need to fill in. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to keep it a little lighter. I will have some Butler. I'm going to take a look at a lineup that still does have Butler. But there's, I'm still staying away from Adebayo. It's not working for me.
Yeah, he is not one of your guys. That's for sure.
No, I used to love him. He was on my, on my annual fantasy, a couple of years. But he just, I don't know. He hasn't really done it this year since the Olympics. I just don't feel like he's been, I don't know, bringing his potential. He's a guy who should be. I mean, he should easily be a, 20, 10, 5 guy, 5 assists, every night. No matter what the defense. And he just doesn't seem to get there.
And usually he's good for a bunch of stocks too. And he's made great playoff runs. He won that one series in the bubble with that block shot at the rim, and he was fantastic. So I don't know. I agree with you though, but this hasn't just been a game or two. This has been like half a season.
Yeah.
He's just been not 100%. I don't know if there's an undisclosed injury or what the deal is, but he does not look the same to me. Yeah. And as far as the Dedmon thing, I got very lucky because I was going to use him as my last man in. punt. But with those couple of scratches that we got, I was able to get them out of my lineups, which was actually a good thing. And then the more I looked at it, I had to have rocks in my head because 11 minutes, 12, 12, 12, 11, 11, 4, 2, 4, 11, 12. I mean, he's never going to play probably more than a dozen minutes. And, 13, which was the game before. So, where this last game. But then before that, 8, 6, 9, 14, 0, 2, 3, 6, 7, 5. I mean, in these showdowns, you can't do it. You can't get away with one bad spot. So, the idea that I had.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say the idea that I had the last go around here was let's get Butler, Tatum, and Luka when it was the 2-gamer, or let's try to get Butler, Tatum, Brown all in there, and then just survive with Dedmon or Pritchard or whatever. I don't think that's going to fly. I'm changing my tune. So
okay.
I would rather eliminate one of the studs and then be able to fill in with guys that are going to get 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm as the GPP player here, I'm probably still going to look at trying to squeeze one of those guys in. But I'm looking at Tice more than Dedmon.
Yeah.
I think he gets a few more minutes with Horford out. He played well in the last game, and they're priced about the same. So that's probably where I'm going between those two. But I am still gonna take a look at that and hope that he gets in his 17 minutes that he can get me 17 points. And then that would be enough if I'm able then to get an extra stud in. So,
and that's that's the bottom line, Deb. You're right on the money. I mean, I'm more of a cash and hybrid single entry player, so I need those secure numbers. Yeah. But if you're trying to take down big money in a GPP, you pretty much have to go studs and then be lucky enough or strategic enough, whatever you want to call it, to have those cheap people have really great games.
Yeah.
If you can hit that, then you're, that's the way to do it. So again, multiple ways to play. And a lot of it depends on what we talk about all the time here, which is contest selection. It is the most underrated, important thing in DFS. You've got to know what type of contests you're playing and then build accordingly because, also in GPPs, the other piece that you have to look at if you want to take something down is leverage. You got to look at the ownership numbers. We'll be putting those up, and we have our own ownership numbers at Coach Talk. Mike and Colin put those together. So we'll give you our opinion there
those have been
each
great.
afternoon in Discord. So that'll have something to do with it as well. As on the Miami side, I'm with you on Strus. I think the defense is going to get a little bit tougher than him. He's not 100% healthy, but he is, he's gutsy and he is getting the minutes. So he's not out of my player pool. I guess the question I have is one lineup I built, my last guy and worst player in, and I need you to talk me off the ledge here, is I'm thinking of maybe playing PJ Tucker.
No, I can't talk you off the ledge there. It is, he's also a guy that you can get lucky with.
Right.
And he's going to play the minutes, and all he needs, they just need to, he needs to just hit a couple of threes and get an extra stock or two. And you've exceeded value tremendously. So he's not the safest cash play because he can also, give you a 15, but talk about a guy. I mean, he's going to get the minutes, right? So
that's the key. And here's my point, exactly what you just said. Here are his minutes in the playoffs: 31, 39, 31, 25, 35, 26, 28, 32. Wow. So he's going to be in there 30 plus minutes.
Absolutely.
But you're right. See, last game 19, but then you had two big wins with him, 29 and 30.5, which that it works fantastic. But the game before that, 9 and then 19-9 the game before that. But then you jump to 21, 29, and 26.
Yeah.
So, wow, you talk about a volatile, pivotal spot.
He is getting the minutes. I guess, the question is, right, in that price range, it's Tucker versus Oladipo versus like a Williams. Williams is the same way, though. I feel like Williams is like a Tucker, G. Williams, he can,
Well, we had Grant Williams 2 games in a row. He had 0 field goals.
Exactly.
And then he went for 26 real points,
right.
Not fantasy points.
Right.
So, yeah. And it's just hitting those guys on the right days. That's the key factor. I mean, and I don't know, you can do as much studying, you can evaluate every statistic in the world that you want. But sometimes just putting that right combination together is the key. And I'll tell you, that does say one thing, though, Deb. I'm a hand build 1 or 2 lineups, but if you're playing the bigger GPP contests, you might as well play 4 or 5 shots of lineups and have a G. Williams in one and maybe a PJ Tucker in the other.
Just rotate them.
Yeah, you put them in the right spots when they do have those numbers we just talked about. Now you're talking,
That's exactly right. Right. Yeah.
But
so go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the most underrated player, though, is Tyler Hero, as far as not underrated. I'm sorry. Under salaried wise. He's just too cheap for his ceiling,
I agree. Yeah. I agree. But he hasn't hit the ceiling in a while. So.
No. And I think you have to make a decision, at least this is my opinion, on Oladipo or Strus. Because if Strus is healthy and plays the big minutes, he's worth it. But if he's not, then Oladipo, who's not cheap, but he can definitely smash for you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Strus is, he stays up on that, on that injury chart, but he's playing his 30 minutes.
Right.
So I don't think that changes. The question is just, do they need Oladipo for a little extra, offense with the second team, and they play him a little bit more. So, pricing wise though, they're all close. That's the thing.
They're right there. Yeah.
So again, it's, you got to kind of it's almost like it may not matter who your top guys are. It's picking the right, mid-tier guys. So.
Yeah. You can't, like last night I was doing great, and then Maxi Kleba bit me in the butt. That's the kind of thing that happens. You get foul trouble, you get whatever the case may be, and you have that one guy that just doesn't make it. You're out. So
that's exactly right.
You just have to avoid that guy here. But I do think we're both on the same page of Boston bounce back and look more at Boston. So. Last question. Who would be your number 1 guy in this game then, overall?
Wow.
Everything considered.
Salary. Salary. And I know I'm looking at my number 1 guy. Let's see. I'm going to say, so for overall, it's really tough tonight.
Well,
because
I'll give you mine. So you can
go
think about
ahead.
it. And this is, I'm using a pricing because we provide for DraftKings, Fanduel, and Yahoo. So I'm talking about all of them, but I'll just use the DraftKings, salary to explain it. I think Robert Williams is so active. He's such a good DFS points per minute guy. No Horford playing. Yeah. And like you said, Bam's not the just dead shutdown guy that he was, at least not right now. I just think Robert Williams fits as like almost a must play for me. And then on the other side, it would be Tyler Hero just because of his price.
No, I think he's a great one, Williams. He is right now. He is the core of my lineups. I agree. I was, debating between. I was kind of trying to evaluate more in the high price guys, but I like that call. I think Brown as well.
Jaylen Brown.
I think Jaylen Brown could have another one of his. They seem to flip flop back and forth. Who's going to be a little bit more alpha, Tatum and Brown, and if Tatum's going to get Butler defense, I could see Brown. Although last game, who played on Tatum more? Was it Tucker?
Well, it was, but we'll see with Smart back if any of that
Yeah,
switches around too.
yeah.
Um,
So,
yeah,
but I
we'll be
do like,
studying that.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So awesome. What about Prize Picks?
Yeah, let's do it. You got one teed up?
I do. Let's see where we're at
I've got a
here.
couple of good ones here. I do like the Prize Picks numbers, and I'll tell you, if you're going to play Prize Picks, get them in, because those numbers have been changing by one or
Yeah.
two as the day goes on.
I'll tell you what I'm targeting right now is turnovers. So
Okay.
I did real well the last game. I gave the 2 over on steals and blocks for Butler, and he smashed that. I think he had
Oh, he
7.
killed it. Yeah.
So they raised it now to 2.5. So, but I'm looking at turnovers. I think some of the turnover numbers are off. They've got Jason Tatum at 3.5. I think he's
Okay.
over 3.5 turnovers. I think he's, taking as many shots as he does. The ball's in his hands a lot,
Right.
and you got a good defense on Miami. So I'm taking the over there.
That makes sense.
And I like the under for Jimmy Butler on turnovers.
Okay.
He's not a turnover guy, and they have him at 2.5. So
that makes sense.
I'm going to take the under there.
I like it. You stay with what's hot. You've been killing those turnover numbers over and under. So I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going with 2 guys, and you can't play this together. So, play them as you will, but I'm sticking with my theory. I'm going Jaylen Brown over 23.5 real points. And I'm going Jason Tatum over 46 fantasy score.
Wow.
Because I think he hits the glass. I think he gets some stocks. And so I'm going Boston 1-2. I'm not saying Boston hammers Miami here. I just think that they're going to get most of their production from those 2 guys. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Maybe mix mine with yours, and you can
There
come
you
up with
go.
some nice
Exactly.
plays.
I like it.
Very, very
Go
good.
for a 5.
No
Fantastic.
doubt. Well, you look the part, man. You look fantastic with this. We got the
I'm ready to
matching
go.
hats.
This is
Jeez.
I love it.
We'll see if it works. If it works, now you do know tomorrow with Crash for this next series, I made it. Really, the game 1 is on me. I didn't, I had the orange shirt that pulled us out of the Sun series.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a gold shirt.
You didn't wear the gold shirt.
I wore my regular shirt,
That's
and so
problem.
it's my fault.
You got to go find a gold shirt.
I'm gonna go buy a stinking gold shirt to wear for the pod tomorrow.
Go to Walmart. Just find that gold shirt. Definitely.
I may even have to take it one step further and get like a Curry or a Clay shirt just to really buzz it.
Drive it in.
Triple reverse jinx on that one.
Nice.
Well, Deb, thank you. Great job as usual. And we'll find out. We'll be back together for that game 3 here the day after tomorrow. So that will be a fun one. And I was thinking, you haven't done this yet with me, but maybe, and again, it's live on. We always chat. We're all so busy we can never talk any other time. But Crash and I at times put together a Fanduel GPP. 2 brains are better than 1. Nice. So I thought maybe we could build a little showdown. 2 brains are better than 1 Fanduel when we get together on Saturday.
I love it. That would be fun.
All right, we'll do that. It'll be game 3, the first one in Boston. So we'll add that to the mix for that podcast Saturday.
Awesome.
All right. Any final words?
No. Let's look forward to a better game tonight than the first game. So
I hope both. Yeah, we want competitive games here. It's been too good of a playoffs to have blowouts in the conference finals. So. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for everybody listening in. Again, our presenting sponsor, really appreciate them, betus.com.pa. Sign up there with a minimum of a $79 first deposit, and you get a free full 1 month all-access membership to DFS Coach Talk. So check that out. Use that promo code Coach Talk when you go to betus.com.pa, and we'll get you in here quick. Also, thank you to Prize Picks. If you haven't signed up with Prize Picks, this is the time to do it. Prizepicks.com. Use that promo code Coach Talk, same one, no space, and they'll match $1 for $1 on your first deposit all the way up to $100. So On the way out, if you haven't done it already, thumbs up here we would really appreciate that here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and the little alert button. If you're listening on any of our audio podcast landing spots, that's a hard one to say together. Anywhere, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we're there. Just give us a quick 5-star rating, quick comment, and then Colin will pull the randomizer at the end of every month, which we're almost 3/4 of the way through already, and that person will win a free week membership. So you want to do that as well. All right, that's it, Deb. That's everything I got. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and we'll be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in DFS and Prize Picks.